Be me. 27-year-old feminist dating boyfriend for 2 years. Now solid relationship. He's operations manager. I'm marketing specialist. Both doing well in careers. Boyfriend is pretty traditionally masculine, confident, assertive. Takes charge type guy. Makes decisions, easily speaks his mind, clearly leads in most situations naturally. Always been attracted to his confidence and decisiveness since we started dating. Start reading more about toxic masculinity and how it harms everyone, really. Learn that traditional masculine traits are actually problematic and damaging to society. Traits like dominance, assertiveness, aggression, competitiveness, all rooted in patriarchy, basically. Realize my boyfriend exhibits a lot of these toxic masculine behaviors daily. Decide, I need to help him deconstruct his masculinity for his own good. We're at restaurant, and waiter asks what we want to order for dinner. Boyfriend orders for both of us without asking me. First, like he usually does. Interrupt and tell him that's toxic masculine behavior, assuming control over my choices. Tell him ordering for me without asking is treating me like I can't speak. Explain that taking charge like that is rooted in patriarchal dominance dynamics. He looks confused and says he was just ordering thought. I wanted the usual. Tell him he should ask me what I want instead of assuming and taking over. Say that his decisiveness is actually just controlling behavior in disguise, really. He apologizes and asks waiter to disregard his order. Waits for me to order. Feels satisfied that I'm helping him recognize his toxic masculine patterns here. Few days later, we're walking downtown and a group of drunk guys start harassing me, making crude comments and getting too close, invading my personal space clearly. Boyfriend immediately steps between us and tells them to back off firmly. Get them to leave, but I'm annoyed at his aggressive protective response. Tell him that aggressive masculinity is exactly what I'm talking about, being toxic. Say that him acting like my protector reinforces idea, I need male protection. Explain that using aggression even defensively is toxic masculine behavior pattern. He says he was just making sure you were safe from those guys bothering you. Tell him I can handle myself and don't need him performing toxic masculinity for me. Say that his protective instinct is rooted in treating women as property to guard. He's quiet and says, okay, I'll let you handle it yourself next time then. Planning weekend trip together, and he suggests we go hiking in mountains. Tells me about trail he researched that has amazing views and good difficulty level. Immediately tell him that his need to take charge of planning is toxic masculinity. Explain that him making decisions without my input is patriarchal control behavior. Say that I should have equal say in planning, not just go along with his ideas. He says, okay, what do you want to do this weekend instead? Then tell me. Tell him we should discuss options together, not have him dictate the plans. He says, fine, let's discuss what are your ideas for the weekend trip. Realize I don't actually have any ideas, but tell him I'll think about it. We never plan anything because neither of us takes lead on organizing the trip. Month passes and notice boyfriend has become much less assertive than before. Doesn't make suggestions or decisions, just asks me what I want constantly now. At first I think this is good. He's learning to not be toxically masculine, but start to feel annoyed that he never has opinions or ideas about anything. Ask him where he wants to eat, and he says, wherever you want, I don't care. Tell him he must have preference, and he says, I'm trying not to be controlling. Remind him, having preference isn't controlling. It's just having opinion about food. He says, but you told me taking charge and being decisive was toxic masculine behavior. Realize I've made him afraid to express any preferences or make any decisions, but can't admit that's problem, because it would mean admitting I was wrong. At party with friends and conversation turns to politics and current events. Boyfriend used to be very engaged in these discussions, stating opinions confidently. Now he just sits quietly, not participating even when directly asked his views. Friend asks him what he thinks about some issue, and he says, I don't really know. I know he has strong opinions on this topic. He's told me about it before. After party ask him why he didn't participate in discussion like he usually does. He says I'm trying not to dominate conversations with my opinions anymore. Tell him that's not what I meant. He can still participate in discussions. He says you told me that men speaking confidently is toxic masculine behavior. Reminds me, I said men asserting their views is rooted in patriarchal dominance. Says he's trying to take up less space and not perform toxic masculinity anymore. 2 months in, and our relationship dynamic has completely shifted from before. He never initiates anything, never makes plans, never suggests activities ever. Always defers to me on every single decision, from what to watch to where to go. At first, I liked having control, but now it feels like I'm dating a child. Ask him what he wants to do tonight, and he shrugs, says whatever you want. Tell him I want him to have opinions and preferences like normal person would. He says, but every time I used to express opinions, you called it toxic. Reminds me I told him assertiveness and decisiveness are problematic masculine traits. Says he's confused about what I actually want from him at this point, honestly. Realize I've made him so passive he can't function as equal partner anymore. We're watching movie, and I ask him what he thinks of it halfway through. He says it's fine. Whatever you think about it is probably right anyway. Tell him to stop being so passive and just tell me his actual opinion. He says, I think the plot is weak and acting is mediocre. Honestly don't like it. Feel relieved. He finally expressed opinion, but then he says, we can keep watching. Tell him if he doesn't like it, we can watch something else instead. He says no. You picked it so we should watch what you want to watch. Realize he's so afraid of being assertive, he won't even change the channel. We finish watching movie. He hates because he won't take any initiative at all. His boss offers him promotion to senior management position with big raise. Tell me about it and says he's not sure if he should take it or not. Ask him why he wouldn't take it. Sounds like great opportunity for career. He says the role requires being more assertive and taking charge of team. Says he doesn't want to be toxically masculine by being too authoritative at work. Tell him being a good manager doesn't mean being toxically masculine, obviously. He says, but you told me taking charge and leading is rooted in patriarchal dominance. Reminds me, I criticized his decisiveness and confidence as toxic masculine traits. Says he doesn't know how to be manager without those traits I called problematic. Realize my criticism of his masculinity is now affecting his career advancement too. Car breaks down on side of highway and we're stuck waiting for tow truck. It's getting dark and cold and I'm worried about our safety out here. Boyfriend just sits in car scrolling, phone not doing anything to help situation. Ask him if he's going to do something, and he asks like, what specifically? Tell him I don't know, figure something out. Call someone, check the engine, anything. He says, I don't want to assume I know better than you what to do here. Reminds me I told him that men assuming they know best is toxic masculine behavior. Says he's waiting for me to tell him what I want him to do about this. Feel frustrated because I want him to just take charge and handle this situation. But I told him taking charge is toxic, so now he won't do anything at all. Start noticing other women's boyfriends being assertive and confident and capable. They make decisions, plan dates, take initiative lead in situations naturally like mine used to. Feel jealous watching them, because my boyfriend used to be like that before I changed him. See friend's boyfriend confidently handle problem at restaurant with wrong order brought. My boyfriend would have just accepted it and not said anything to avoid being assertive. Watch another friend's boyfriend plan. Elaborate surprise date showing decisiveness and leadership. My boyfriend would never do that now because planning and leading is toxic. Masculinity, apparently. Realize I'm jealous of what I specifically told my boyfriend not to be anymore. These women appreciate the masculine traits I called toxic and criticized constantly. 3 months of this, and I'm losing attraction to him completely honestly. He's become so passive and indecisive, I feel like I'm dating a doormat, not a man. Miss the confident, assertive guy I started dating who knew what he wanted. Now he's just empty shell who defers to me on absolutely everything always. Our intimate life has decreased because I'm not attracted to this passive version. Used to be attracted to his confidence and masculinity. Now he has neither. Bring it up and tell him I miss when he was more confident and assertive. He looks at me like I'm crazy and says, you told me that was toxic masculinity. Reminds me I spent months criticizing every assertive, confident thing he did. Says he deconstructed his masculinity like I wanted. Now I'm complaining about it. Tell him there's difference between toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity, obviously. He asks me to explain the difference because he genuinely doesn't understand anymore. Realize I don't actually have clear explanation of where the line is exactly. Tell him healthy masculinity is being confident without being domineering, I guess. He says, but you called my confidence toxic and my decisiveness controlling before. Says every masculine trait I had you labeled as problematic at some point. Asks me how he's supposed to know which masculine behaviors are acceptable to me. Sit there realizing I criticized all his masculine traits without defining what's okay. Gave him list of everything not to be, but no guidance on what to be instead. Friend's boyfriend proposes to her with elaborate romantic gesture. He plans secretly, down on one knee at sunset with photographer and everything traditionally romantic. All our friends gushing about how romantic and confident he is to do that. Feel bitter watching, because my boyfriend would never take that kind of initiative now. He's too afraid of being toxically masculine by taking charge and planning surprises. Friend is glowing and happy because her boyfriend was decisive and assertive in good way. My boyfriend is passive and scared to do anything that might seem too masculine. Realize other women get to have boyfriends who are confidently masculine without criticism. I trained mine to be afraid of exhibiting any masculine traits at all whatsoever. 4 months in, and every aspect of relationship requires me to lead and decide. I plan everything, make every decision, initiate, everything, carry all the mental load. He just goes along with whatever I say, never contributing ideas or preferences ever. Feel exhausted from being only person putting any effort into this relationship. Miss having partner who would take initiative and lead, sometimes sharing the burden. Bring it up and tell him I need him to step up and take charge sometimes. He says, but that's what you told me not to do. That's toxic masculine behavior. Reminds me every time he used to take charge, I criticized it as patriarchal control. Says he's doing exactly what I asked him to do, being less masculine and dominant. Realize I asked for this, but I actually hate the result of what I wanted. We're at his family dinner, and his dad asks him about work and career plans. Boyfriend gives vague non-committal answers, not expressing any strong opinions or goals. His dad looks concerned and asks if everything is okay. You seem different lately. Boyfriend says he's just trying to be less toxically masculine in his life now. His dad looks confused and asks what that means. You were always a good man. Boyfriend explains that his girlfriend helped him see. His masculine traits were problematic. His dad looks at me with clear disappointment and concern in his eyes silently. His mom asks if he's happy, and he pauses for too long before saying yes. Can feel his family judging me for changing their confident son into passive shell. Feel defensive, but also realize they're seeing what I'm starting to see too clearly. Start researching online about toxic masculinity, trying to understand what I wanted. Read articles about healthy masculinity, and realize I threw out baby with bathwater. Healthy masculinity includes confidence, assertiveness, leadership, protection, and decisiveness, actually. Toxic masculinity is when those traits are used to dominate, harm, or control others. Realize my boyfriend was exhibiting healthy masculinity, not toxic version at all. He was confident but not arrogant, assertive but not aggressive, protective but not controlling. I couldn't tell the difference, so I criticized all of it as toxic behavior. Now he has no masculinity left. At all, healthy or toxic, just complete passivity. Understand I destroyed the good masculine traits, along with anything I saw as problematic, but too proud to admit I was completely wrong about this entire thing. 5 months, and I'm completely checked out of relationship, emotionally at this point. Not attracted to him anymore, don't respect him, can barely stand being around him. He's become everything I said I wanted, but turns out I didn't actually want it. Miss the man he was before I deconstructed him into this passive compliant version. Try to break up with him, and he says, okay, if that's what you want to do. Doesn't fight for relationship, doesn't ask questions, just accepts it passively like everything. Tell him this is exactly the problem. He doesn't care enough to fight for anything. He says, fighting and assertiveness are toxic masculine behaviors you told me not to do. Reminds me I trained him to be passive and accept whatever I decide without resistance. Realize I can't even get passionate breakup because he won't engage with any emotion. Week after breakup, see him out with his friends at bar looking different somehow. He's laughing loudly, telling stories, being center of attention like he used to be. See him confidently approach woman at bar and start conversation with her naturally. Watch him being assertive and masculine in ways he stopped being around me. Realize his friends never told him his masculinity was toxic, so he kept it with them. Only around me did he become passive shell because only I demanded he change. Feel jealous watching him be the confident man I fell for with everyone but me. Understand, I didn't kill his masculinity. I just killed it in our relationship specifically. He was always still that guy. He just learned to hide it around me completely. Month later, see on social media. He's dating someone new, already moved on fast. Pictures of them show him being decisive and confident, planning dates, taking charge clearly. He's back to being traditionally masculine man. He was before I changed him. Realize his new girlfriend gets the version of him I originally fell for initially. She appreciates his masculine traits instead of calling them toxic like I did constantly. Watch him be happy and confident with someone who doesn't criticize his manhood. While I'm alone with my ideology that destroyed something good I had going, told him his masculinity was toxic, but really, I just didn't understand healthy masculinity. Still believe toxic masculinity exists and is a real problem in society, obviously. But understand now that not all masculine traits are toxic just because they're masculine. Confidence, assertiveness, decisiveness, leadership. These can be healthy and good, actually. My boyfriend exhibited healthy masculinity, and I couldn't tell the difference at all. Called everything toxic because I was looking for problems, not appreciating strengths. Destroyed his confidence and made him afraid to be himself around me at all. Now he's being himself with someone else who actually appreciates who he is. I'm alone because I couldn't distinguish between toxic and healthy expressions of masculinity. Watch other couples where men are confidently masculine and women appreciate it. Realize those relationships work because women understand difference between healthy and toxic. They appreciate decisiveness without seeing it as control. Appreciate confidence without calling it arrogance. I saw every masculine trait as problematic and destroyed the man I loved in process. Told myself I was helping him grow, but really I was just tearing him down completely. Used feminism as weapon against traits that actually made him good partner before. Now I'm single, and he's thriving with someone who lets him be man without constant criticism. Learn an expensive lesson that masculinity itself isn't toxic. Only certain expressions of it are.